This is Nick Douglas for Adventures of a Sailor Girl in very rainy Portsmouth. It feels like it hasn't stopped raining for days. Brad, what do you reckon?
I think every day I've been here it's been raining, so nothing new.
I think I'm ready to go home now.
I'm always ready to go home.
It's a bit like that. Now, you've just finished up the Fastnet, which we're now all calling the slow net on Rambler. How was the race for you? A tricky start for you with Comanche, maybe?
Yeah, we didn't have a very good start and didn't do a very good job at the beginning there. A bit of a mess, but we sorted ourselves out and got going. And yeah, like you say, it was a very slow race. Pretty hard to get too excited about it, but you know, it's quite a tricky race. It always is when it's light. But yeah, it was a shame the boats couldn't sort of show off what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, that said, I think the monohull start, your start, was the most exciting of the bunch.
Yeah, well, I think we had a little bit of breeze by that stage. You know, the first divisions were parked there for a long time, but no, we managed to have enough breeze and got going, and that was fine. But yeah, we just didn't do a very good job of it, that's all.
Well, that said, you finished 4 minutes behind Comanche after almost 3 days. That's pretty good going by the team.
Yeah, I think, you know, those conditions, I think our boat has probably got its best chance against Comanche, but and we did some good tactical moves in the race, and we did some not so good moves as well, so as did Comanche, but no, I think, you know, we're pretty happy overall. I think we're still learning the boat as much as we can, because we haven't spent a huge amount of days sailing the boat. It's, you know, when you're involved with a race or something like that, you don't always get the opportunity to learn enough about the boat or test or do these things. So we're still learning, and these conditions, you know, it's probably we've hardly sailed in these conditions with this boat before, so yeah, we're trying to work it out.
Because the transatlantic was a little bit breezier.
Yeah, the beginning was light, but it was sort of light and shitty, not just light and steady. It was hard to learn much, and you couldn't really trust any of the data or anything like that. So yeah, we have to work it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next for the Rambler crew?
Next is Saint-Tropez Regatta, and then the Middle Sea Race, and then down to Sydney for the Hobart Race. So yeah, so you know, we've got a little bit of sailing before then for Hobart, and yeah, hopefully we can develop the boat a bit more and keep learning and be at a good preparation stage by Sydney.
Yeah, well, it's awesome to see, and you've got some good guys on board. How's the team gelling as well? You've got to work out the boat and also gel together as a team.
Yeah, I think team-wise, you know, we all know each other fairly well and have done over the years, and either sailed with each other or against each other. So it's not. No, it's a good bunch actually. It's a lot of fun, and you know, that's why I think a lot of the guys are doing the Rambler thing. It's a lot of fun, and we have a good time. But when we go racing, it's full on, and yeah, we have some really good guys, and yeah, no, it's good.
You're just smiling thinking about it, I think. But I think it might be nice to go sailing too, because you've been in the coach boat most of the past few years.
Yeah. Well, I was smiling because I was thinking it's actually good to be one of the young ones on the boat for a change. But or younger ones, but it doesn't happen very often these days.
No, that's really cool. But the past year, for those who may not know, you're a big part of the Team SCA program, who are also here sailing the Fastnet. Is it interesting to see the girls back, but know that you're off sailing and not coaching them?
Yeah, it's quite a little bit strange feeling that you see the boat out there and the girls racing in the Fastnet, and I'm racing on another boat, but. You know, I have been off the water, if you like, for a couple of years while we were doing the SCA thing. So it was really good to get back, do the transatlantic race, and do the fast and go racing again. And yeah, I've definitely missed it for sure.
Yeah.
But saying that, you know, watching the girls do it, and it's good to see they can that they're out there racing and in a competitive fleet, and I'm not. This race wasn't exactly would show how things are going or how they've been going, because it's a very light, fluky race. So I'm sure it was hard for them to, you know, to sort of show what they can do as well.
I think it's just really nice to see that it's keeping on going, and maybe the momentum can keep building.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I mean, I'm not sure where it's going to end up, but it's good that they did this race, and I think there's another couple of things that they'll do, and not necessarily racing, but it's doing stuff. It's keeping them together, and it's keeping the ball rolling, which is all you can ask for.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the girls have gone back to previous crews, and maybe they're bringing stuff back. What have you learned? Because did you learn a lot by watching them?
I think just we had to learn a lot, or I had to learn a lot in a non-sailing role, I guess, in a coaching role, and I mean, I was sailing a lot with them, but trying to pass on your experience or what you know. I guess there's good ways to do that and bad ways to do that, and so myself and Jocka were learning all the time, I think, to try and work out the best way to get across what we were trying to get across and what we thought was important and what wasn't, and all these things. So I hope we got better at that as time went on. And I guess we learned how the girls work and how we get our message across to them, and how they take it better. But we're learning all the time, and I think we had a big hurdle to climb, from the beginning, and all of us were sort of full on trying to learn from the beginning, and all of us finding our feet a bit, really.
Yeah, finding your feet, but I think we definitely saw the girls find their feet through the race. I mean, winning the leg in Lorient, and then going on to come third in the Import Series, and then the Artemis Challenge here as well. It must feel nice to see that, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, our goals at the beginning of the campaign were, for them to finish this campaign being a way better sailor than what they were in the beginning in all areas. And I think for sure I'm sure they'll be surprised at how much they've learned and how better they are, how much better they are now compared to what they were, which they should be, because they've spent a lot of time doing it, and they've put a lot into it, and they've had a good sort of environment to do that. So I think if they feel like that and they've had that, then it's been a very good 2.5 years spent.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I was going to ask you as well, is what motivated you to do that when you're still an active sailor and you still love sailing? And I'm sure a lot of sailors out there can't even imagine having a year off, let alone 2.5. What was it that motivated you to get involved with the program personally?
It was a bit of a timing thing, and it was a bit of a opportunity thing. I think I've worked with Richard and Atlant with Ericsson and things like that, and I really enjoy working with them and the way they do things. I know it's going to be well run and well funded and organised properly, and you can set up an environment how you want it, and everyone's able to do their jobs well. So that side of it really appeals to me, like doing things properly.
Yeah.
And just when I started talking to Richard, there wasn't a lot going on in Volvo world, and I just like a project to get my teeth into a bit, and that's what I enjoy doing. So it was different, and it was hard to make the decision not to sail again, or sail for this race. But sort of once I'd made that decision, it was, I got my head into it, and didn't have a problem after that. It was fine.
What do you think about doing another Volvo Ocean race? You've done a few.
Well, I don't say no anymore, because you never know what's going to happen. But I haven't ruled it out, but I think it's probably quite unlikely. But I'd like to do the race again and do it well and do it properly. And the opportunities to do that are getting sort of harder and harder to do it that way. So it just depends if the right sort of team or the right setup comes along.
We'll have to keep our eyes on you for that one, but maybe that's why you were attracted to the Rambler program.
Yeah, well, the Rambler program I've sort of been involved with over the years, and especially with the new boat and things like that. So, I enjoy working with those guys as well, and it was always on the cards to go back there and keep tied up with them.
Well, so we'll have to call you Brad doing things properly, Jackson.
Well, you know, I like to, if I'm going to spend 2.5 years doing something and be away from home a lot, then it's got to be worthwhile, and it's got to be, it's got to be a setup where you're happy and enjoy it, and can make it how you want it. So otherwise, it's pretty hard, you know, spending that much time or putting that much time and effort into something that you're not really comfortable with.
Yeah, excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with me. I know you're heading home very, very soon.
Back on the plane for another day and a half, but it's quite normal.
No, I'm jealous actually, but I'll see you at home, and I can't wait to chat to you before the Hobart. I hope everything goes well for Rambler leading up to that, hey?
Yeah. Well, like I say, we've got a few more days sailing, which we need, and a few new bits and pieces coming along, and try and develop the boat a bit more. And then, hopefully we're going to do the big boat challenge down in Sydney before the Hobart. So that should be a perfect race.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the big boat challenge, got all the maxis racing around the harbour. It's absolutely incredible. I'll be doing my usual coverage, interviews and radio and whatnot. So we'll have to get you on the show, Brad.
Yeah. I'll see you down there.
Awesome.
Over the beaches from now on.